What the heck is going on out here? Welcome back to Amberg Acres. So that was my Vince Lombardi imitation, if you haven't figured that out yet. So we're getting ready to go on a trip. Just a short trip. We're not going any distance really, but we're going camping for a few days. And before we leave, I thought I'd come out here and check on the field. And this is what I found. They've completely tore down this fence that I put up. So I thought I'd share that with you before we leave. And what I'm going to do to fix it. I already ordered some extra string, because when I put this up a couple weeks ago, I felt that it was too far apart. The pieces of string were too far apart. And then we had the video of the deer walking right through it. So I thought, okay, I'm going to go get some more string. And then I come out here this week here, and this is what I found here. Just all ripped down. So I'm assuming somebody got stuck in there, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that chip and see what happened on the chip there. See if it was that doe or if somebody else got tangled up in it. Because the doe seemed to be maneuvering through it pretty well. But anyhow, I picked up more string. So same stuff, 65-pound test. And I'm going to put one every other one now. So there should be no way they can just walk through it unless they break it like they just did here. The other one down there looks fine yet. So not really sure what happened here. So we're going to get this done, and then we're going to go on vacation for a week or so. So you won't see this video until after Labor Day probably. And we'll be back by then. So stay tuned. Okay, so I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but I originally had 4 yellow ones spaced a foot or so apart. So now I put them about 6 inches apart. So I got the 4 yellow ones, and then they didn't have any more yellow, so I used green. With my eyes, the yellow shows up real nice. I can see the yellow. I cannot see the green. When I stand back from it, I cannot see the green. It blends in too well with the surrounding background. But we'll see. You know, there's something there that they're going to hit their face on before they jump right through there. So we are heading over to Governor Thompson State Park. It's like west of Crivets, a ways out there off of what's the name of that road? I don't remember the name of the road that it's off of. It's a main road over there where there's a lot of tourist stuff over there. Past Renee's, past Pop's Resort, out that way. So anyhow, we'll check on this when we come back. I'm going to take that chip out of the camera, see if I can see what happened here. So we'll check on this when it comes back. I'm going to go down and do the one down there also and add 4 more strands. And we're going to bring you some footage from Governor Thompson Park, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so I pulled that chip out of that camera and there was nothing on it. There was deer on there on the 14th, and the wires were still up. And on the 17th, when I went over there, the wires were down, and in between there was no activity, nothing showed up on the camera. So I don't know how all them wires and strings got tangled up and pulled all over the place if there were no deer in that pen. So you explain it to me, because I can't quite figure out what happened there. All right, I don't believe that the string just busted on its own. 65-pound test that should not break, you know, that easy. So something happened there, and I ain't sure what it is. All right, so we'll catch you in a little bit. Here's our setup, the Chevy Silverado, pulling the 2023 Flagstaff Superlight. Nice big campsite. Very secluded. You can't really see your neighbors out here, so these are really nice campsites. That's the way I like them. So welcome back, guys. I am out in my kayak right now on Cauldron Falls. It is part of the state park, the Governor Thompson State Park. So we're going to paddle around the lake here a little bit and see what this looks like out here. Looks like a nice little lake. Actually, it's not that little. It's a pretty big lake. But it's full of all these little bays and stuff, and you'll see it as we go here, these little fingers, because it's a dammed lake. So there's a lot of little channels to go in back here. So we're going to paddle back and see what we can find. This is the way I like it. Perfectly calm water. It's supposed to be a high of about 74 today, I think it was, and 5 to 10 mile an hour winds, so it shouldn't be too bad. I don't like it when it gets real windy out on a lake, especially in a small craft like this. So there's several islands out here on this lake, and I was told that there were island campsites, but looking at their map, and their map isn't very good, looking at the map, it doesn't look like the campsites are on an island. They're more on the mainland, like a peninsula type thing. So I don't know where they are exactly because I don't have the map with me. But we're just going to follow the shoreline here for a while and see where it takes us. So many years ago, when my son was probably 4 years old, I took a Canadian trip, or a Boundary Waters trip on the Minnesota-Canadian border, and took him with. And one of the things I learned taking that trip is you really need to keep an eye on your landmarks. So like we just went past a tree that was tipped out in the water. That would be a landmark. So when you're a distance away coming back, you can find your way out of the lake, you know. So you need to keep an eye on that when you're out, especially out paddling alone. If you have a couple people, it's not as bad. You don't get as I don't know what the word is, anxious. I got lost one time on a lake. I stayed out too late in the canoe and it was dark and I could not find a boat launch. It was like a channel going to the boat launch, and I paddled around out there for I bet you hour and a half before I finally found the channel into the boat launch, and I was getting really nervous, you know. So you want to keep an eye on landmarks is my tip for anybody that does paddling by themselves. And it would also help if something happens, you know, hopefully nothing ever happens, but if something would happen, you would have some way of telling somebody that where you're at, you know, because there's nobody out here. As you can see, there's nothing out here. There's no houses, there's no nobody to go get help, so you're kind of on your own, you know. You see some of those trees are already starting to turn colors. Hopefully you can see them over there on that shoreline. It looks Possibly those are birch, maybe? I don't know. Looks like there's quite a few birch out here. Perfect lake for a day paddle. Man, it's a gorgeous day. I've been waiting for a day like this at home to get some decent work done, start cutting some wood, doing some other stuff because it's been so hot. And well, you got to enjoy life too. So we're out here camping, and we got some beautiful weather, just beautiful weather. Not hot, you're not sweating. I don't like camping when it's 90 degrees out either. So this is just gorgeous. Yep, I don't think that goes through back there. I was looking for a shortcut around the point so I didn't have to go out in the big lake, but I don't think I'm gonna get there. Those campsites are on the other side of this, what I would call a peninsula. They're on the other side of this, so I would have to go out around the point. And we'll paddle up that way and see what it looks like when we get there. So I've noticed some state park signs along the shoreline, and I'm not really sure. There's two parks out here. So it's the Governor Earl State Forest, I believe, and then it's Governor Thompson State Park is in amongst the state forest. So I don't know what this is considered here, if this is the Governor Earl State Forest or if this is still part of the state park. But I see the sign, so this is all state forest out here. Pretty much all public land. So now if you look straight ahead in the distance, that is the landmark I was talking about, that tree sticking out of the island there, or whatever. Yeah, that was that first little island. So that is a landmark for me coming back now, that I know that my entrance to the boat launch is right past there a little bit. So as long as I come back off the lake and I can find that landmark, I'm good to go. I know where I'm at. There's all, because it's a damn lake, it's all fingers, you know, bays and fingers. We're in a finger right now, coming out of it actually. And it's beautiful in here. I would say this would be really good bass fishing if you're into bass fishing, because there are a lot of lily pads, a lot of weeds. It's a sand, looks like it's a sand bottom, most of it, which is typical for this area. Most of the lakes, like Castle Rock Flowage and I believe Pentwell, they're all pretty much sand bottoms. I've never been on High Falls either. High Falls is just, I don't know, just south of here a little bit. Not very far, a couple miles maybe. I've never been on that lake either. So that's something I want to do one of these days yet before I die. Get over there on that one. So I really can't tell you how deep this lake is. I don't have a map of it, but I can tell you right where we're at here. I can, here and there, I can see the tops of some weeds, which are the bigger weeds that stick straight up from the bottom. And then as you get into the shore, it turns into the lily pads and those other grassy weeds, whatever those are called. I don't know the names. I think the one out here further is milfoil or something it might be called. But definitely looks like good bass area. So the forecast is for 5 to 10 mile an hour winds, which isn't much. And you can see how choppy it gets real quick out here when you get in the main body of water. So we're going to see if we can go around the point here, see what it looks like over there on the other side. So when I built this kayak, I got the design off the internet. Probably 20 some years ago I built this, and I redid the design, seeing I had access to CAD systems. So I redid this design and made it almost, I won't say twice as wide, but pretty close to twice as wide is what the design called for. And I did that for a reason. It's because I like the stability, and this thing is really stable. It's very, very hard to tip over. As long as you're heading into the waves, you're fine in this thing. And I also made this cockpit like twice the size so that I can lift my knees up and bend my knees. Because when you have bad knees, you got to move them a little bit. You can't just stay straight out all day. So I'm real happy with the performance of this kayak. For a heavier guy like me, 240 pounds, it's very stable, very comfortable, stable kayak. All right, I found one of the campsites here called Pine Beach. Got a little pier there. Nice little sandy beach. Clumsy me, I almost knocked the camera in the water. Let's take a walk up here and see what this looks like. So it says you need reservations for these here. Oh, that's not too bad. You got a fire pit there for you, and yeah, a lock box to keep your food in. So years ago, when I first met my wife, we used to do this type of camping. I had a boat, a little skiff, and I don't know if I ever showed pictures of it. I'll slip one in here. But we'd fill that up with our camping gear and a cooler, and we'd our go-to place was Castle Rock Flowage. It was about a mile and a half down the shoreline. They had campsites that you could reserve and camp on. And you were right on the beach. You had your own little beach like that. It did not have a pier, but you had a beach like that. And we used to go down there and camp all the time. And it was a lot of fun that way, you know. So if you're into this type of camping, you know, that you can camp in a rustic area, this looks like a very nice campsite. I don't know, is that a, looks like they might have some kind of a pit toilet right back there too. Just a shelter. I don't know if you've ever been up at Newport, I think it was Newport Beach State Park up in Door County. They have campsites like this also, and you go down a trail and there's just like a wall, and then there's a toilet inside there. So you're kind of out in the open, but you still have a toilet to go sit on to take a dump, you know. I did not know about this place years ago, or we would have came here, I think. This really looks nice in here. And it looks like a good lake to go fishing on. So, all right. We're going to continue our journey. I told Barb I'd be back by noon. She worries about me when I'm out here like this. So let's see what time it is here. It is 11 o'clock, so I got an hour to get back to the boat launch, I guess. All right. I'm glad I found this. This is a nice little spot in here. So that looks like it could be the dam over there. It's quite a ways off in the distance there. Hope you can see that. So I got to go right around this point right here, and then the boat launch is that to the right. across another bay. There's supposed to be 3 of these campsites out here. This is the first one I found. I don't know if the others are further down this shoreline here that I'm on. They're all on the same side according to the map. So we'll follow this around here and see if there's any more, but I think the rest of them are down further down this shoreline here. So, all right, it's time to head back. Now we just got to find our way back. We just came around the point. So I believe that tree is straight ahead. It all looks different when you come from a different angle. So our tree sticking out to out of the water, or out into the water, is right over here on our right. So I'm pretty sure this opening right here is the bay we came out of originally. There it is, straight ahead. Yeah, when you're out in the middle, it definitely all looks the same on the shorelines. It's really hard to tell. Well guys, thanks for coming along on my little kayak trip. I may be trying to do this on Saturday again. I don't know if I'll film any of it, but you'd be seeing the same thing over again if I filmed it. Or I might do the other lake. There's another lake in this state park, so I might go do that lake on Saturday. So until then, thanks for being with me. So there are a lot of well-groomed hiking trails here in this park. You can walk for miles back and forth from the campsites all the way up by the lake, down to the boat launch, all over the place. They're very well groomed. They're taken care of, easy walking. It's a pretty nice park. We are on our 3rd hike for this week in Governor Thompson State Park. And we are going for 2 miles this morning. It's almost perfectly still, no wind this morning. It's beautiful out here. It's probably only 50 something degrees. There's a deer standing right there. There's one laying right over in here. There's one laying in there. See, there they go. They're just laying 20 feet in from this open power line right away. If I wouldn't have stopped, they wouldn't have even moved probably. See if I can get a little better shot of them. One, two, 3 of them I'm seeing. We'll leave them alone. So this is a power line right away that goes, I don't know how far this goes. This is probably the same one that goes all the way up to Goodman, maybe. Not really sure. So we are at intersection 14. The power lines go that way, and this way we're going back into the woods. So let's see where we are here on the map. We came out of here and we came down to 17. We came all the way down here, and then this is the power lines here. So we're right here at 14. So we're going to go back this way and then back to our campsite that way. So it is Friday, August 29th, almost 10 o'clock in the morning, and it is beautiful out here. There's nobody else on these trails right now. I would imagine by either this afternoon or tomorrow, you'll start seeing more people. That's why I'm getting my walks in now. But you couldn't ask for a more peaceful morning, that's for sure. So I like to give these parks a rating, especially the good ones. So this park here, Governor Thompson Park, is located just west of Crivitz, Wisconsin, off of Parkway Road, and it is a very nice park. I'm giving it an 8, and the reason I don't give it a 10 is because it does not have sewer and water on any sites, and it's only got a few electric sites. So if you have a big camper like we do, you like to, have some of the nicer things in life when you get older, it doesn't have those. Okay, it does have a very nice bathroom, a centrally located bathroom with showers. The showers have a toilet in there and everything, so you can go do your thing and take a shower and all that all at once. So that's very nice. It's really set up well, and I get it. You're out in the middle of nowhere here. It's a long distance between between the two different, there's 3 different loops, campground loops. So it would be an extensive project to run sewer and stuff, but yeah, that's the only reason I'm giving it an 8, because it doesn't have that. It would be nice to have like one section, and they could do it. There's plenty of room here. They could put a section closer to their septic system and have sewer and water, but you know how it goes. It's state run, so but these trails are awesome. I mean, a lot of times you get out west and other places, some of the trails you're walking on are barely enough room for one person. You could fit 4 people wide on these trails here. The bugs aren't bad, but we haven't had a whole lot of rain in August here, so that's expected. The gnats are back at night. The gnats have gotten really bad again. They're usually spring and fall. We usually have the gnats real bad up here. So other than that, I'm going to keep walking here and see what else I can find. And I'll get back to you in a little bit. Tell you this much. These have to be some of the best marked trails that I've seen in a lot of the state parks. So we were at intersection 16 right here. So we're gonna go to the right, come out up here on the road, go over here, get back on this one, get back to our campsite. See, their septic system is right here. So there's plenty of space here where they could add another loop with water and electric. So if I would continue up that trail, where would that one? Oh, that would take me along the road up towards the swimming beach. Yeah, maybe for another day I'll do that. Get up to the swimming beach, take some pictures up there. There's another deer standing right down here in the hole. Hopefully you can see him, see her. There she goes. If you don't stop, if you keep walking, they'll stand there and watch you. because they don't know that you can see them. But as soon as you stop to look at them, then they get all nervous. Look at the size of some of these campsites. Nice big campsites, but no electric, no water. Plenty of room for a big camper, plenty of room to goof around. Kitchen tent if you want it. This one here is actually a pull through, but there's no electric. So this is the picnic area, and the beach is down below here. They got volleyball nets and a little pavilion here. Not sure what, I'm sure you have to reserve it if you're gonna have a party or something. Let's take a walk down by the beach once. They got a few canoes here you can rent. This is called Woods Lake. It looks like they got some kayaks over there. Actually, got quite a few kayaks there. Nice little lake that you can paddle around. I'm not sure if they let you rent these and take them out on the big flowage where I was at the other day. Not sure on that. You would have to check into that yourself, I guess. Here's the swimming beach. It looks a little weedy, maybe. Probably be fun on a hot day though. There's fishing pier right over there. Alright, this is my third walk for this week. We started out here and we came over here. This is a gravel road. So now I walked all the way up here. I'm right here at this corner and we're taking this Nighthawk trail back over to the boat launch. Kind of surprised they let a golf cart on here. So this trail basically is going along the Cauldron Falls. I don't know if I'll be able to see the falls from here, the flowage from here, but we're walking right along it.